Hey yo guys, how's it going? Tally here, and today I'm so excited to bring you some games and some matches from when I've been testing Heroes post-Burst of Destiny. I'm going to include about 10 games, some of them singles, some of them matches, all commentated fully, and I'm going to bring you a deck profile throughout the video as well. Please make sure to like the video, please make sure to comment your thoughts down below, and of course subscribe if you are new here. Now, let's dive in. Okay, for this one we're up against Guru, and it's one of the very few games in which I am actually going first. However, this is going to be a short one, alright, because they cannot win. They just cannot win. Unfortunately, I am playing one increase and I drew the one increase, so I have bricked a little bit, but we have plays here. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and special summon just to get Faris on board. It's good. And then we have Stratos, which I was going to use to grab like Honest Neos or something, or an extender. And they dash it. And I said, you know what? Screw this, I'm gonna use Verte. And you're probably thinking, Tally, you're not playing Dragoon in this deck, are you? Of course not. We use Fusion Destiny, go into Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, and have the best boss monster ever. Now, they have the Hidden City, but I'm just gonna pop it. It's not gonna resolve. And in a simplified game state, I'm just going to keep bringing back Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Now they did misplay because they could have gotten this earlier, but it allows them to go ahead and get rid of the Denier. But look at this, right? So I've got no Denier, I did get the Mali, plus a normal summoned increase. So now increase is in rotation, and they go ahead and Solemn Judgment the Cross Crusader. But look at this board state, right? I have a consistent pop. And like, I'm just going to go ahead, see if I don't get past the battle phase here, I'm just going to go ahead and like Subterror Final, I'm going to pop their Subterror Final battle. So what, are they top decking? They are, because Subterror Fiendus isn't going to do anything against my board, where I'm not, actually don't have anything for them to flip at that point. I also have Forbidden Droplet and an Ash Blossom. So what you'll see here is they're going to negate that, do a little bit of mental math and go, do you know what, I rage quit. Because Tally's just too good. I'm going to hit them for 2500, put them on a 1-turn clock, pop the Subterror Final battle, and unless they draw, I don't know, is there any card in Subterror that wins them this? No. But this also goes to show that in a very simplified game state, this card's nuts because of its recursion power and because of its ability to take resources away from your opponent. So let's take it on to the next one. Alright, so for the first replay, it is literally just going to be Heroes versus Ice Barriers, and we're going to see how to absolutely destroy this deck. So they're going to start, and they're going to start off with their own E-Emergency Call, and they're going to start to pop off and combo off a little bit. This summons a tuner from deck, I think, and this is going to dump a monster to the graveyard. This can special summon itself by the looks of it, and they make a shark into a toad, which I thought could be problematic because, to be quite honest, heroes can sometimes die to one good negation. Now thankfully, not this hand. I did try and Belder an enemy and they thought, you know what, this is absolutely mandatory to bring back, so they sacrificed their only negate to stop a ghost spell, which I don't know if I agree with, but they end up going into Halki Fibrax and ending on a 4, a 3 and something else, so they can summon out, really, like, Desert Locust was my first thought. So they chain, they go into Formula Synchron, which I'm like, okay, so they're going to try and synchro into something weird. So I'm going to go ahead, pop off a Forbidden Dropleted to Synchron, so they're not doing anything. And now we do the standard hero combo. But off of Vion, I'm not sending Shadow Mist or Mali, I'm actually sending Destiny Hero Denier, which is insane. Because it is not only your third copy of Malicious, but your fourth copy of Malicious. So it's absolutely bonkers, right? You'll see this in action later on. We're going to go ahead, grab our Polymerization, and we're going to do our standard plays. This is going to grab us our Mali, which we're going to now tribute to grab a Liquid Soldier. Liquid Soldier's going to grab our Shadow Mist, and we're going to grab a Mask Change because we didn't need to search earlier. So now we have pretty much every piece in play. We've got the Sunrise, we've got the Absolute Zero now, and we have a Mask Change to go into Dark Law if we don't win. But they seen the writing on the wall, that was an OTK, and they decided to end the game there. And by end the game I actually mean rage quit. But I'm okay with that. Okay, and in this game we're going to induce another rage quit. We're going up against VW, who are playing the Hand Loop variant, and if you don't really know what that means, I'll let their combo play out and I'll show you. Essentially what they're looking to do is summon Trishula, like this, and rip a card from my hand. Now, they've ripped a Vion, which isn't terrible, but I did open both my Vions, which isn't good either. Following this, they're going to go ahead and try and make another rank 9, or another Synchro 9 in this case, and they're going to go into a rank 9. That rank 9, if you haven't heard of it, is Enter Blafnir. Now you'll see that in just a second, so they're going to draw a couple of cards, set up a couple of hand traps, and then they're going to set up Shen as well, which by the way is pretty deadly against this deck. So they've ripped 2 cards from our hand, they have a hand trap, and they have a kind of Macrocosmos. So here's what we're going to do. In this game, I'm going to go ahead, I did draw the Forbidden Droplet, it wasn't necessary at all. It's really nice to see, but wasn't necessary, because really everything else we can afford to lose, alright? The only benefit that it had was being able to send a Decider to the graveyard so that we could use Vion's effect to be able to go ahead and search Poly. Now from here we have the Malicious is going to go ahead and grab another Malicious, and we've got the Cross Guy. Cross Guy grabbing us another Malicious and tributing it for Liquid Soldier, which we're just going to Poly into Sunrise. Now, they're actually going to Ash, so no Miracle Fusion, which isn't great because that actually would have been the OTK, but we do have Fusion Destiny and the new boy, Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Now I'm not sure if you've read this card, but essentially it will make all of your opponent's monsters weaker. As you can see, this now has 17, this has 200. It also will allow you to destroy 1 card you control and 1 card your opponent controls, and then if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, it can come back every standby phase, or it can revive a different Destiny hero every standby phase. So this is a recurring boss monster that dodges removal by destroying itself and another card. But you do not have to destroy itself only, it can target other cards. I say target, it doesn't even target, so they won't know what you're destroying until it resolves. So here's how this is going to play out. We've now got the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, we're going to grab Denier, which is going to put Mali back in deck, for Mali to then go ahead and grab another one, and I'm thinking let's just go battle phase, let's start breaking apart their board. So Shen's gone, Blafnir's gone, we've attacked for 29, 15, 200, which would leave them with pretty much nothing, because in hand I have an Ash and they have 2 Lulu. So if you stop that Lulu, they probably don't really have much, so you can pop Denier to then pop the Kinglong, or the Shinglong I think it is, which then prevents their hand plays, and yeah, they probably have a bit of a graveyard, but we also have Ash to prevent them doing other searches. It's just too good, it's just too good. Let's move on to some actual real life matches now. Okay, so here we're going to look at an actual match against a hero deck. Not necessarily the kind of hero deck that I would play, it's a bit more like Hulk combo centric, which is an odd one, but you'll see it in a second. So they're going to go ahead, Solid Soldier into Vion, sending Shadow Mist, grabbing them a Faris. They're then going to go ahead, grab the Poly, as every good hero player does, but they go into Isolde, which grabs an Honest Neos, which is fair. So then they go ahead and grab this tuner, and they're going to go into Hulk. They're now going to do Hulk combos with the Despot, into the Mecha Phantom Beast, grabbing a couple of tokens, grabbing their Deskbot, and now they're going to go ahead, synchro off into 1 negate. They're going to tribute these 2, summon out a Coal Ling, 2 more tokens, and a Despot 01. They've got 2 negates. They Monster Reborn into Solid Soldier. Now, I think they made a mistake here, because they couldn't get rid of this or this, and realistically they had a pretty sick combo, okay, because they could have actually just set up Absolute Zero and then just sat on like a mask change, which I don't think I could have played through. So I'm thankful that they didn't, but maybe they thought 2 negates is enough and they've got all the hero plays for the follow-up. But that's fine. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to Hero Lives, right? They've got to negate it. Understandable. So I'm going to Prosperity, thinking they have to negate this. Turns out they don't really think they have to negate it. So I'll Rota, I'll grab myself a Shadow Mist and go for the Solid Soldier. They negate that, that's fair enough. But what they don't know is that I have Faris in hand and Shadow Mist, and I'm going to go ahead and pop off now. I've got my Adusted Gold for the board wipe, I've got Increase for the full combo, and I've got Denier in hand, which Denier is just so good, right? Again, it's going to come up in this game, it's just how good it is. So we're going to go ahead, Cross Crusader, grab our Mali, we're going to tribute it off, grab our Stratos, which I don't know why I did, but I just fused them into Sunrise. That's going to grab our Miracle Fusion. I realise in a minute that I actually don't have anything for the Miracle Fusion, which I should have grabbed Liquid, that was on me. But what I do have is gold to go into Bane, and then I have a full board wipe. I didn't know though that the Cult Wing can protect itself, but that's fine, can only protect itself the once. Sunrise gets rid of it, bang, and we win game 1. So this is a match, so let's go into game 2 and see how that goes. Okay, so game 2, I believe they're going to go first again, and I'm going to be honest, neither of us have particularly good hands, but they have Vion in hand, which makes theirs very slightly better. So let's see how it plays out. So of course they're going to normal summon Vion, they've already got the Poly in hand though, but they do have the Mali. Mali's going to go ahead, summon itself, turn into Isolde. Isolde is going to search out Plasma, and they're going to go ahead and do the exact same play as before, but I have the Ash, so they have nothing and they quit. It's a bit of an anticlimax, but I'll take it. Okay, in this match I'm going to go up against Dark Magician, and you're probably thinking Dark Magician's nothing special. I would agree if I'm honest, but the thing about Dark Magician I want to show off is of course they have lots of access to Dragoon, so let's see how the new build interacts with Dragoon and potential like pops and stuff. So we're just going to set up a very simple Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, and Mali's going to come out so that we can pop it on the next turn, or we can have Mass Change Fodder. They open up the Red Eyes Fusion, which is unfortunate, but they're going to try and pop one of my cards. They don't negate the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to pop both of my cards. What's the worst that can happen? They negate that, and next turn I just pop off? Yeah, that's fine. So I'll take the damage. I've also got Mass Change, by the way, so that's going to be very relevant. And Destroy Phoenix Enforcer comes back. I'm going to try and Mali, they're going to try an Eternal Soul, and I'm going to say no. Pop in Phoenix Enforcer, and then getting back the Eternal Soul. Overall, this is going fine so far because I have Extenders out the behind, Denier saving my booty again, going into Cross Crusader, grabbing a Mali. They're going to negate that, and I said, you know what, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to Liquid Soldier, grab back the Denier, and then I'm going to go ahead, combo off a little bit more, go into Wonder Driver, get myself a Dark Law, and I'm going to get the Mask Change back to dodge any removal that they may have, punch over it with the Dark Law and the Honest Neos combo, and just keep pushing. But now they have no graveyard, and they don't have any means to revive their stuff. And I have, again, the boy. So they can go ahead, they can do whatever they want. They're not doing anything with Secrets of Dark Magic, they're not doing anything with Dark Magical Circle. Sure, they could summon this, or can they? Yeah, so they only need to discard, so they can summon that, but that's not doing anything either. So that's fine, let's take it on to the next game. Okay, and in this game, Dark Magician's going to go first, understandable. They're going to Magician's Rod, they're going to go Dark Circle, and they're going to Soul Servant to stack the deck proper. They've got the Eternal Soul, but they've got nothing else. But here's what they do have. They have Secret Village of the Spellcasters. So, quite problematic, right? They've got Forbidden Droplet as well. Very problematic. And if we look at my hand, the two best cards are my spell cards. However, I also have the increase in the hand again, and I am only playing one, and I've somehow managed to draw it more than once, but that's okay, statistical anomalies happen. But, is there a way that I can play through this? You're damn spiffy, there is. So I'm going to Faris, ditch the increase, it's now in circulation later on. Stratos is going to go ahead and get negated. Dang. So I'm going to Verte. I'm going to Fusion Destiny. I'm going to set up the boy. I'm going to set my Cosmic Cyclone, destroy their guy, and now I have free reign to use spells, so I'm going to pop that, and I have my Cosmic Cyclone for the next turn. So they can't really do anything here. They've got nothing, unless they're top decking. Nah, just another Forbidden Droplets. So I'm going to pop, and they're going to scoop. Very, very good card in Simplified Game States. So much better than Dystopia, because it has no setup and way more recursion. Okay, and in our final match of the video, I am up against some sort of Dogmatika Buster Blazer hybrid, which is fine, because we're still going to win. However, they are going to go first, and they kind of have opened up the absolute bonkers nuts. However, taking a look at my hand, Faris, Gold, Miracle, Ash, okay, Droplet, Rota, like we're jamming, we're absolutely jamming. So I'm going to go Rota, I'm going to grab myself a Stratos. In hindsight, I wish I didn't do this, but it doesn't really matter because they do have negates. Faris is going to go ahead and get Shadow Mist in the graveyard, and they're going to Imperm me. And again, I've got two monsters on field, what am I going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to search my Honest Neos, I'm going to go grab my Dark Fusion, Dark Calling, and I'm going to Verte Anaconda. They get rid of the Miracle Fusion, which really hurts, but I have the Dark Calling, I've got the Bane, and I have the new best boss monster. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pop this and pop my Verte because I don't need Verte anymore, but I've actually, because it doesn't target, right, so a very specific thing to remember is this doesn't target. So my original plan was I'll pop their other back row, and then they go ahead and summoned out Buster Dragon. So I said, okay, instead of getting rid of their back row, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of their Buster Dragon, lowering their defences so I can go for the kill. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and Honest Neos, and then they're going to summon out the Buster Boy. However, Destroy Phoenix Enforcer's other effect comes into play, where it will lower your opponent's monsters by 200 attack for each hero in the graveyard. So this is now very easy to destroy. I'm just going to beat over it. They're going to try and protect it, but what they don't realise is I'm just very, very good. Now, Droplet is set. They've got the Dogma, which, by the way, actually, I think they misplayed because they probably could have summoned that during my attack. I don't think it matters though. All that does matter is that I win the game 1, and that's fine. Because again, we've just got more than them. We've just got more. Okay, so to be kind of blunt, in game 2, I lose a very winnable game 2 because I'm a bit of an idiot and I kind of didn't sequence my cards correctly. In retrospect, there's a lot of things I'd do differently, but let's learn from our loss. So they are going to go first yet again. They're going to summon this adorable little thing, and it's going to search them out one of the other traps. I hate them all. And they're going to go into Link Karibo. So I'm like looking at my hand and I'm go, okay, so Pot of Disparity or Pot of Prosperity is going to save me. And not really. I grabbed the Ash though, because Ash is really nice. And it kind of implies that I have a really good hand to my opponent, so they must be bricking it. Now, the big thing that I do wrong here is when I Vion, I send, that's all fine, I go for the Shadow Mist, but I grab an Honest Neos, which I don't think I really needed, right? What I needed was Extenders, and I had so much in hand, right? So I had the Mali. If I grabbed the Faris, then I was absolutely golden. They didn't really have anything to stop the Shadow Mist. In worst case, we've seen it. Like, just go Verte. Just make Verte, bro. Okay, but following that, we're going to Forbidden Droplet away the Mali, because I'm like, okay, that's now my only Extender. It was really silly of me. It was my only Extender. And I needed that later on. So here, I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to try and negate this, but of course they've got like the other one, they summon the Buster Dragon, and now they go ahead, they summon the Big Boy, putting all my monsters to defense position. There's nothing that I can do with this hand, because I don't have access to all the good cards, but that's fine, like we learn from our losses. I should have just searched an Extender and popped off from there, because I don't think they realistically would have been able to play through as much as I could have had, but it is what it is. Okay, and for the all-important game 3, I'm looking at their hands and I'm kind of baffled. Now, there's some mistakes made in this one too, but I end up not, it doesn't hurt too much. Okay, so I'm going to go first, and I'm going to go ahead and Pot of Prosperity for 6. I'm like, yep, we're going to go for the big play here, boys. So we get the Denier, the Mask Change, Vion, Honest Neos, lots of good cards, so I grabbed the Mask Change because I have pretty much full combo here, because I drew the Dark Calling anyway, so I'm not going to get punished for it. We're going to Increase is going to get ashed. Okay, not great. So I'm going to set up the Bane, because I don't think their deck can actually do much about Bane, and it's just a good wall. But what I do have is Mask Change to go into Darklaw. So realistically, there's a couple of things that I could have done differently here, but it ends up not being too bad. So they go ahead and they search out the Reclusia, which I realise is like now their only other Extender, except they have Rota, which could be relevant. So they get the Reclusia, and I'm like, okay, so Darklaw is pretty much like useless here. Even though it can actually really hurt this deck, it's pretty useless. On the bright side though, let's loop a card from their hand. So we loop out the Crawler, which isn't great, and they're going to go ahead and pop this, and I'm like, okay, let's see them get over Bane. They're going to go ahead and Rota, and I'm like, okay, if they have the Extender, they have it, but I'm going to Ash this. And it leads to their end phase. So I am now top decking and it's not going great, so I pop their Regulex and I'm just going to start poking. If they pop off, they win. However, they just pass. We both have ghost spells now, matching, and I'm just going to go ahead, poke again, and if they don't have anything, they've lost it. Of course they don't have anything, I'm going to go ahead, summon the Decider effect, not that it matters, and then I could attack over with Bane. Because it's 1600 exactly, normally I would go for like the Decider to figure out what it is, but because I have Bane and Decider, like they've only got 1600 exact, I'm like, okay, I'll attack with Bane and then attack with Decider. But overall, really happy with these matches. Let's take it to the deck profile now, I'm sure you're dying to see it. Alright, so this is what I think the deck should look like post Burst of Destiny. So we do have the 3 Faris, we have 2 Vion and 1 Increase. Now I know this was a big drama in the hero community a while back, but I'm going to be honest, even though I drew it a few times, the deck now has extra plays, and for as much as I would hate to see it, and I would love to have the second one to play through bricks, you're adding more bricks to the deck, and it was something that I didn't learn for a while. So this is the package. Vion is just a good normal summon. On its own, it's Verte, which is Fusion Destiny, so I'm happy enough with that. And for our heroes, we have 3 Stratos, 2 Shadow, 1 Honest, 1 Liquid, and 1 Solid. I think for E-heroes, this is the package if you're running Prosperity. If not, I would bump up your Liquid Soldier count. I know it's a bit expensive, but it's just so good to draw to. And then we have 2 Malicious, of course. We're actually running 4 Malicious because of Decide or Denier, which is just... I cannot describe how good Denier is because it puts itself on board, it puts Malicious back in the deck. It's so good for the turn 1 combo, it's so good for like the bounce back plays. It is once per duel, so don't use it if you don't have to, but if you can then just have like so many follow-up plays, you've just got what heroes were solely missing, and that sometimes your hand was very like, if you blew everything, you didn't have a comeback play. This is the comeback play. It's 2 heroes on board, which then gets you your cross guy, and it goes into more and more. So this card's nuts, I absolutely adore it. Decider, it's just my current favourite level 4 hero. It could be Celestial, it could be Draw Hand. Just go wild, whatever you want. And then we round it off with an Adusted Gold. Not necessary, I think, but it's really nice. Then for the hand traps, I'm playing hand traps again. We've got free Ash, free Ghost Spell. I think Ghost Spell's really good right now, which is why I would play it, but it depends on the format exactly which hand traps you're playing here. Then we have the free Mass Change, our free Fusion Spells, our free Fusion Destiny, 1 Rota, 1 Hero Lives, free Forbidden Droplet, and free Prosperity. I'm really sorry to say that this deck is gonna be expensive, alright? If you want to play the best version of heroes, it's gonna be expensive. But you know me, I love heroes, and I will probably spend that stupid amount of money just to say I've got the best version of heroes that I can. Following that, we're going to the extra decks, so we have 1 Sunrise, 1 Absolute, 1 Acid, 1 Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, and 1 Dangerous. I've kept Dangerous in because it is part of the 1 card mask change combo. Never used it in my testing, but I don't want to say that that immediately discounts the card as bad, but I think after further testing, it is a card I might remove, because realistically my option off of Fusion Destiny is always going to be Phoenix Enforcer. It's so good. We have the 2 Darklaw, we have a Blast, Adoration, Malicious Bane, and then for our Link monsters we've got Wonder Driver, Verte, 2 Cross Crusader, and the Dread Decimator. Overall, I think each card here serves some sort of purpose. This is a generic Dark Fusion for under the Mass Change, the Fusion Destiny restriction. So it still allows you to get use out of your Liquid Soldier, which is purely what it's there for. This is back row removal, and it's so nice to like go Stratos, try and pop a card, and then mass change it into Blast so that you can pop potentially 2 free cards and clear a lot of back row. The Darklaws are obvious. This is just the absolute god combo still. Board wipe fully. This is good for a little bit of recursion. I have played without this and I have missed it. I don't think you can remove it. And of course these are just the best links in the deck. This is what it is. And Verte, if your plays get stopped, if you just open up Vion, Verte equals the best boss monster possible. So side deck, just have a look at it. I don't think realistically this is the side deck. I think you've got to really tailor it to your meta. However, I always love a cheeky pointer. I love this card so much. But that's the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's take it to the outro. Okie dokie gang, thank you very much for watching the video. That is everything there, and to be honest, I hope you had a really good time. If you did, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe if you are new here, and make sure to comment your thoughts of the deck, the games, and the deck profile down below. As always, you have been amazing, I have been Tally. I'll catch you all later. Bye.